Undefeated middleweight prospect Impa Kasanganay. What's going on, man? How you living?
I'm doing well, Hyon. Thank you for having me on.
No doubt, no doubt, man. Now to get to know you best, I figure we need to go back to the first fight. Your first fight, senior
Okay.
year of college. Take us back,
Yeah,
man, and give us a feeling of what it felt like to get into that cage for the first time.
man, it's the best feeling ever. First fight, senior year of college. Finished my football season. Finished playing senior year football. We had a pretty bad season, and then I was training MMA that summer to get better at football. One of my goals to play in the professional football league and national football league. I started training, but I would go after practice, and especially near the end of the season. In the last few weeks, the season ended pretty early because we didn't make the playoffs, and I started training. So about 3 weeks or 3 to 4 weeks before my amateur debut, they said, "Hey, do you want to fight?" And that's when I pretty much started training, and I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I think let's see, it was here in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I live, and it was awesome, man. I had a bunch of people from my college turn out, a bunch of my teammates who I played football with, people locally. It was a lot of fun. One of my teammates now, who just joined the gym not too long ago, he ended up calling me my first fight, so it was a lot of fun. Winning the first round, I was like, okay, let's stay calm, let's go, let's listen to what my coaches said, and then I took off and started punching right away, and then won the fight in like a minute and a half. So I was pretty happy about that.
Did you have any like training growing up? Were you doing, the normal kung fu or taekwondo or anything like that?
No, I never grew up. I never did any sports or martial arts. Like back home, my parents being from Congo in Central Africa, Democratic Republic of the Congo. They never really wanted us playing sports or anything like that. So I didn't start playing football till my senior year of high school, and then I started fighting my senior year of college, my last semester, and that's when I had my amateur debut. But no training, no boxing, wrestling, nothing like that. So everything was brand new for me.
Were you with Jimmo from the start?
No, Jimbo was my second amateur fight. I pretty much started my career still with them. Everything I've learned from that point on has been Jimbo. I was at a gym called Myrmidon. The gym is no longer around, and it was closer to my college, closer to my university. So I would go there. There's a town called Statesville, about an hour or about 45 minutes away from my gym or from my campus. But then right after my first amateur fight, I ended up going to Jimmo. So that's where I've been.
How did you end up there? Who did you know somebody there, or is it just something that you heard
No,
about?
kinda, yeah. So I, the guy who was courting my first fight, he said, "Man, if you want to take this seriously, you need to go find a place called Jimmo." And then a man named Brandon Brillhart, um, he's a Bellator cut man. He was actually doing the cuts for my first amateur fight. And the coolest story about that was he recognized me because of my fight song. My walkout song is called "Call Upon the Lord." It's from my church, and here in Charlotte, North Carolina, called Elevation Church. And he was like, "Man, what campus do you go to?" And I'm getting ready for my fight, and I had weigh-in, so I'm kind of like out of it, just ready to go eat and rehydrate. And he says, "Talk to me after the fight." I'm like, "Okay." And then my fight went really well, and I saw a video of us actually talking to each other. And he said, "You want to take this seriously? You need to go find Jimmo in Gastonia, North Carolina." So I was like, "All right." Two people said it, and I felt it was really cool confirmation because he recognized me because of my worship song, the song that I walk out to for my church. So it meant a lot to me. And then ever since then, it's been Jimmo ever since.
Other than Jimmo, do you have any other locations that you frequent for training?
No, sir, not frequent. Last year I went out to the MMA lab to help Jared Cannonier get ready for a fight. But other than that, I've only been at Jimmo, and I love it.
The training partners, I've talked to many guys that go to Jimmo for training camps, like John Salter,
Oh wow,
Joe
Salter.
Selecki, and
Mm.
and Holtz, Holtzman, Scott Holtzman. I
Scott
feel like
Holtzman.
they've all mentioned Jimmo as a place that they frequent. I think
Mm.
Brian Barberina also, he's out there too.
Yeah, so yeah, we have Brian Barberina, Scott Holtzman, John Salter, Selecki, Chris Honeycutt as the main guys who are on the high level of MMA right now. So we've had a few guys. We had and some other fighters pass through when they were in town, so they're pretty cool.
So you've been training with those guys all along, just in the room, just grinding away, right?
And getting beat up by those guys. um, yeah, what's it called? Salter, and sorry, Brian and Hot Sauce Holtzman. They were the first two guys I really started getting to know and started training with because Scott came back for a camp, and then Brian came in a little bit after, before he fought Ellenberger's brother. I think it was not Jake Ellenberger. Maybe he fought Jake Ellenberger for that fight. And then Salter came in just around Brian's fight, and Selecki was coming with Salter too because they trained out in Wilmington together, and there's been some awesome guys. So yeah, we're all really close training partners, all one team, and we were always together. So I love those guys.
Did you have many reality checks with those guys? You know, in the beginning, where you're just like, oh
For
man,
sure.
this is it's not as easy as it looks
Yeah,
sometimes.
definitely. I mean, those guys have, man, they've helped push me, mold me, guided me since the day they've walked in the room. But they're never really, none of them are jerks. You know, they never came in there trying to, like, you know, flaunt that they're in the UFC or Bellator. They were always willing to help and learn. And, you know, I got the privilege to be their training partner to help them get ready for a fight. So it's never, we do have fun. We do go back and forth, but it's never been like they've tried to check me or anything. Um, Scott got me before. Scott got me good, but it was never. It was really on me. So we've all like grown together, and especially this past year, it's been really really special. With Scott's 2 wins, you know, back to back. Really, Jim Miller in the fight in Jersey, Brian's knockout win, fight of the year, Salter's main event win, Selecki's UFC debut, and Contender Series win, and my Contender Series win. Like, we've all been there for each other, working together. Honeycuts, when he beat Slamenko. So like we've all been there, you know, helping each other get better. So it's been a lot of fun.
Who can you point to as some of the people that have been mentoring you in the gym?
In the gym, definitely, man, definitely hot sauce. Brian Barberina, and Scott Holtzman, and Salter. You know, those guys. You know, they've been in the game for a while, but they're so willing to help. You know, Scott's a true professional in the way he's on the front end process, like everything he does from nutrition to recovery to the little movements he does before fights. Everything that he does, he's preparing himself to be on top, be the best. You know, claim victory. Brian, he's like a big brother to me. You know, big family man. He has a farm, and I want to farm one day. So we've connected a lot. You know, always talking junk, always singing. And I visited his family a couple times now on the farm, so we've all been pretty tight, growing together. Um, Salter's helped me come down for, you know, I come down to his gym. He's come up to ours. He comes up to ours almost every week. So like anytime I had a question, they really helped me out. But those three guys, you know, Scott, Brian, and Salter, like they're just like open books who have been guiding me along the way for sure.
Outside the gym, though, you know, there's got to be people out there that have been supporting you since day one that are not
Oh,
fighters, that are not
yeah,
coaches. Who are these people?
man. Well, yeah, definitely. Shout out to my coach too because he's been amazing. But outside of the gym, man, my parents, my dad's my hero. You know, he's just a super hardworking man and always keeps it real with me. And then my mentor here, actually, I'm at his gym, the Luray Athletic Club here in Gastonia, North Carolina. His name is Jonathan Logan. He owns this place and he's a fitness professional, but also just like my uncle. You know, this shows me a lot of love. This family is my family, and we've all been growing together. A man named Benjamin Rudisel. He trains out our gym, but outside of it too, he's taught me many life lessons and have a lot of really heart-to-heart conversations. So there's definitely some great people. You know, whether it's business, whether it's how to see my career down the road, you know, thinking about a family, all those different things. They've all been there for me for that.
Yeah, it's great to have that balance because I feel like a lot of fighters don't have it. They just have it in the gym, and then sometimes it's almost just too much tough love right in the gym.
Get beat up all the time. Yeah, you need something you can go cry to. Definitely
Yeah,
have that
yeah,
going on.
you gotta have the shoulders, man, outside the gym. Now let's get into your debut year, 2019. Last year, 6 fights in an 8 month
Mhm.
span, which is insane to say.
So,
Did you learn? What did you learn about your body? You know how far you can push your body. Did you learn that in such a short period of time?
yeah, for sure. I realized recovery is probably the most important step in the process. I have to like double it because you know you go from fight and you come back and then it's your teammates fight camp. You can't be selfish and then not help them prepare. So literally every single time I came back, somebody was having a fight, whether it was Salter, Brian, Scott. You know, so I realized that with my body that I needed a rest. You know, I don't think I did a good job of that in the beginning of my career. And then um, as my um, as my fights progressed, I realized how important it is probably to take a couple days, a little bit lighter, and get right back into it. Um, man, it's been a fun debut year. It was a fun debut year for sure.
What else did you feel you learned that first year as a professional?
The importance to listen to my coach and the guys in my corner, to trust them. especially my first pro fight. I was kind of like going away from the game plan, and I made that mistake as an amateur and I lost. But my first pro fight, I won by split decision against a really awesome fighter, Garrett Fosdick, and I remember it's probably going to the second. I think it was going to the second round. Garrett took me down, and I kept wrestling him, and I didn't grow up wrestling or anything like that, and I was winning on the feet, but I wasn't playing to my strength in the fight. I think I was just trying to do too much. And my coach always talks about when you focus on everything, you're not focusing on anything. And if I could focus on one thing at a time and break it down and slow the fights down in my mind and in my brain and listen to my coaches, I definitely give myself permission to win and claim victory, which I think definitely paid off in my final fight of the year with Kalen Hill. So um, definitely learned that. Also, as a fighter, how important it is to take advantage of every single opportunity. Because I look at it now with the pandemic and the coronavirus and all this stuff, and nobody can fight right away except for this past week when fights restarted. That the fights that I had last year, those 6 fights, they benefited me now. Still open up opportunities, still get fight offers, get the opportunity to have interviews with you and other journalists. So I realized when you're a young fighter and you have the opportunity to eat as much as you can, because you never know what's going to happen in the world. You never know what's going to happen in the fight community. You never know if you're going to get injured. So keep yourself in the best shape. Keep yourself in a position to score and go attack.
Going back to the Contender Series, you entered the fight as a pretty heavy underdog, but you came out a proven prospect, which is huge for you.
Thank you.
Take me inside your head leading up to that fight.
Man, I was super excited for that fight, man. I have to shout out my team, my whole tribe. They helped me so much. They every single person in the gym came around to help me. It didn't matter whether it was sparring day, it didn't matter if it was an extra roll. What do you need? It was a collective effort, and that's how we are. We're a family that to help one another get better, and want to help one another get to claim victory. Whether it's like calling Brian or Scott, or they give me advice. They both came out. Brian just amazing. That whole process. My coach, every single person. It didn't matter. Like people who practice jiu-jitsu every day and don't fight, and fighters who have already had their rounds wanted to give extra work, which really meant a lot to me. So I definitely felt prepared going into the fight. That's where my mind was. It's at peace. I didn't see the underdog betting odds until I got to Vegas. And they're like, you're like this much of an underdog. I'm like, oh, gee, thank you. But man, that for me was awesome because I was okay. Now, if they view me in this light, when I claim victory, it's going to give my God, my family, my tribe, all of us it's gonna elevate us more because they weren't expecting that, And if they expected me to crush Kalen and I did, it's like okay. But when I really dominated the fight, claimed victory, I think it really, to me, it was like it's an opportunity to show what we are really about and put us in, and hopefully put us more on the map because everybody's done it before and those who paved the way. But there's my chance to do that too. So that's how I took it. It's my opportunity to help put us on the map more and start taking over.
Yeah, no doubt a dominant victory, but no contract. Did anything Dana White say to you still stick with you moving forward?
Man, yeah. So it's funny because at first I was, you won, but it hurt. So you're like, it never hurt so good to win a fight. You're like, wow, why does it hurt like this? But man, when I think about it and I rewatched, and I actually rewatched that the decision a lot. I think about it, I'm like, man, I received that, be top 5 in the world one day. He said possible to be a middleweight champion. I believe that I am going to be, and I know that I'm going to be. One thing he said that I'm going to get hurt by guys, which has kind of been a motivating factor for me because I don't see that happening. And it's been a way to check myself and make sure that I'm prepared. So every time I step in the cage, I'm the one, giving the blows. I'm the one giving the damage rather than taking it. So it became a challenge. And I appreciate him, because I still have the opportunity. And you've seen what he's done. So I respect him. I haven't built a $1 billion organization, or how much the UFC is worth. But he's seen fighters, he's seen how it's gone. But it's also given me a challenge too, and I think it just makes a better story because when I do get the middleweight title, when I do get into the UFC, they're always going to replay those videos. I think it'll be something good in the long run. So it all stuck with me, but those are the main things for sure.
You are considered a highly touted prospect. Getting that recognition from fans, from the media, so early in your career, what goes through your mind? It could get to people's heads sometimes.
For sure. Sure, that's why I have a great team that beats me up and makes sure it's not in my mind too long. I have a man. I definitely, early in my career, I've been blessed to have success, and praying that it continues and keep going. But I always promise myself not to leave the gym. And because there's so many areas I can improve in. Like striking, grappling, every aspect of mixed martial arts and martial arts as a whole, and being a better man. I have something I know I need to improve in, and my coach, he's a great man, and my dad and my mom, they always instilled me to be humble. And I'm not saying I've always been humble, but I think they're always willing to check me. My teammates are too. Keep me in check, and it's about serving one another. So I know that all my teammates have served me and helped me get to this point. That I have to help them when they get ready for their fights. So I realize I'm never bigger than our tribe. And that's been pretty beneficial to me as a fighter because it only makes me want to get better. And I'm not here to only be middleweight champion in the UFC. You're here to be the best guy in the city of Charlotte or North Carolina, the United States. No, that doesn't matter. Like, when it's all said and done, my goal is supposed to be the best to ever do it, past, present, and future. I want like when my name's on. You're like Mighty Mouse. They talk about him. He's always arguably the number one. Like when it's all said and done, I want to be the best. And I know I'm like I want to be on my way there, but I know I haven't achieved it yet. So to me, yes, you celebrate the victories, little by little, and you're grateful, but you celebrate with your team. But I haven't made it to where I want to, and I know I'm not as close as I'm not super close yet. So I have so much work to do. So that always keeps me in check. Like I know I have to get better. And like my teammates like Salter, Hot Sauce, Brian, like you see how awesome they are, and Ricky and Selecki, all my teammates, the way they help me improve, and I think the mistakes that I made, Honeycutt, all these guys, I know I have to get better. So I have no room to be cocky. I have no room to, think I'm better than my teammate or I deserve more than they do. Like I'm going to put the work in and go get what I believe that I earned. But man, like, none of it's in my control. So I know I have to keep getting better. I have to keep improving.
There's different styles of fighting. John Jones, he describes his style as look-see do. You look, you see, you do. If you could describe
Yeah,
your style, how would you describe it?
definitely describe my style as a blended style. I don't really care where the fight goes. I didn't know that my goal is to dominate and keep attacking. Whether I'm on the ground, whether I'm standing up, keep moving to, like smoke, like show one thing, be somewhere else. Show one thing, be somewhere else. It doesn't matter to me, like, you know, whether it's to bang, stay in the pocket and go, or we're moving around a lot, or the fight's up and down. Keep pushing the pace, keep going, and change my rhythms, like keep dancing in there, and that's like you're almost like you're playing music. You're going with just go with the beat, and the beat can change anytime, and that's how I see my fighting style. It's a blended style. It blends and it becomes something beautiful in the end. I don't really. My goal is to dominate, claim victory, get my hand raised, and however that may be, keep attacking.
What does the future look like for you? It seems like things are opening back up a little by little. Do you want to rebook the LFA fight, or do you want to get on that Contender Series later in the year? What is the
Mm-hmm.
plan for you?
Man, I love to fight. So whatever opportunity avails itself, and talking with my agents at the first round, Lou and all those guys, I want to be ready to go for the first opportunity. Man, I'd love to fight the Contender Series this summer. It looks like hopefully that's an option. Looks like that's an option. Um, they have LFA, and they got my coach and my team. They say let's do it. Like for me, it's like you tell me there's a contract somebody wants to fight. Let me sign it. I'm ready to go. I fight twice in a month. I've done it before. I'm not really a picky, choosy kind of person. Like, let me fight, do what I'm called to do. I know I'm going to get where I need to go. So it'd be great if they reschedule the fight, be first pro title. But at the same time, my eyes are set on the great prize, the UFC middleweight title, UFC Hall of Fame. So I'm not going to get caught up on what I can't control. I'm only going to focus on getting better. And if praying the Contender Series is an option this summer, or if there's a short notice opportunity like tomorrow, I'm ready to go, or this weekend, or another UFC fight before then, I love that opportunity too.
Have you been training the whole time? Because you've had your last three fights canceled, and with the COVID
Oh yeah.
19, putting major parts of the world on lockdown. What is your training situation?
So during the coronavirus, the COVID-19 pandemic and everything like that, I've been training from home, 4 or 5 sessions a day, sometimes more, maybe
Wow.
three at least. So I'm still getting after it with my team. We have midday workouts and noon workouts with my team. I'm actually here at this. gym right now. We're athletic club, so I'll do my conditioning here in the mornings now when I'm here, or meet my team. Still working on my shadow boxing. So every day I'm training. Like great coach Kerry Colat. He's the Navy coach at Navy wrestling coach. He always talks about if your training means so much to you, this time right now is a little sacrifice. This time right now is something where you like if like your training means so much to you, what we're doing right now is a little sacrifice. Staying away from your training partners, do what you need to do. I'm gonna keep focusing on my fundamentals. I'm gonna keep focusing on what I need to do. And when I step in the cage, this will benefit me. That's why I believe. And then before this, I've never left the gym. I never stopped training since the Contender Series. The day I got back, I haven't left the gym. I kept training, kept training, kept training. Fights get canceled, that's fine. I'm still, part of my job is to show up and train. I look at it like business. You have a meeting, you fly out to a meeting, maybe it's an accounting or a finance meeting or a meeting with the CEO, and the meeting gets canceled. You go back to work, you get right back to work. You don't say, oh man, the meeting didn't happen, so I'm going to take 2 weeks off and kind of get worse. I'm going to master my field. I'm going to get better in it. I'm going to further my education. I'm going to keep studying what I need to do. That's the approach I take, because I always want to be ready for the short notice opportunities. Like I haven't made it to where I want to yet, and when I get there, I know I'm going to have goals that are further than that. So I want to be prepared now for then. That's the only way I look at it. I don't have time to say, oh man, I'm gonna go home and just chill for 3 weeks now. That's not the fighter I am. Not even a week, not even a few days. I want to get back in there and learn. And my training partners are so awesome. It'd be a waste and an insult to them to not get with them and get better. My teammate Chase Gamble always wants to grapple, always wants to try something new. Matt Norman, he's a guy that I train with. He doesn't fight, but he's always shared ideas with me. So, like, I don't want to ever miss a day. I don't want to miss a day. Teammate Dylan Callan, they're always sharing something with me that if I'm not in the gym that day, I could miss out on it. And I feel like that's an insult, one, to my family, to my coach, to my guy. Like, that is not how I was raised and not how I do things. You show up to work every day, and when the opportunity comes, you take advantage of it.
The opportunity's gonna come, man. It's
I have
2020,
to be
and
ready.
once this stuff is over with, you're gonna be back in that cage. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Impa, for the time, and good luck on everything. Stay safe, man, and stay away from the wrong people. I guess I don't know what to say because this
yeah, for
virus is
sure.
like,
Social
what
distancing.
can what can you do?
Social distance, doing our part, man. Staying
Yeah.
home, here working, but staying away from people and doing our best, So thank you so much, Hyon, for having me on. It means a lot, and it's an honor to be on your podcast. Hopefully, we can talk again soon.